Hello, YouTubers and all those I've watch. Hope you don't mind the rain in the background. That's just how weather is. So, a couple games here I've gotten recently, and the only reason why I got these was primarily because they were very affordable to me, so that's why I snatched them. I'm very cheap that way. So, first game I've got here, which is for the 3DS, and it was one of the few games that actually made me pull out this game right here, Animal Crossing, out of the said cartridge slot. Otherwise, it would have been staying firmly inside the 3DS. And of course is Tales of the Abyss. Now this is a port directly from the PS2. I mean, there's no pizzazz, nothing too fancy about it, other than if you have memories of this game, you don't have a PS2 anymore, shame on you, then you obviously have to, if you want to play this game again modernly, is play it on this or bootleg it, whatever the hell means necessary, I suppose. But again, got this really cheap at GameStop, which, you know, it's sort of like the crucifix of all gaming stores at this point in my brain, but kind of affordable, and that was pretty much it. And the only reason why I'm saying that it's a crucible kind of company with me is because they kind of, you know, their online store and me don't see eye to eye. Locally at a store I can be fine, but it's just online it annoys me. It's just there's no communication with them and their stock. So it's like, anyway. Yeah, so this game generally comes with, as you would expect, a direct port from the PS2 game. That's it. The 3D on its complete ass. It's like completely pointless to even use the 3D on here. I mean, if you think you want to play the game in 3D, you're not going to get a good port of that at all. You're not going to generally see a very impressive scale of 3D at all. I tried it a couple times. It just does not look good at all. It just looks very blurry. It's, you know, very fuzzy. It's not very. I wouldn't bother with it. Just leave it in 2D mode. So I never played the PS2 game other than like 5 minutes, but you know that was of course the introduction. So from that, I generally played, you know, so far about. Let me check my time here on the game. 58 minutes, and so far I'm really digging the storyline. I mean, the introduction at least anyway, but it's very teeny, pardon me, it's very teeny, Japanesey, stereotypical anime storyline, spoiled ass prince thing. And so you're playing as the main protagonist, Luke here, not to be confused with Luke Morris 1, but you play as Luke, which is this guy right here, which is a prince who's spoiled and naive and sort of an asshole. I guess girls can be attracted to this, and that's why I think they went with this decision with this character. You greet, you know, your typical everyday chores as being a prince, I suppose. You're just walking around the castle bored out of your damn mind. And then you bump into a chick named Tears, or Tear. So, I mean, that's generally all the storyline I absorbed so far. And I like the combat. Combat's obviously as it usually is for the Tales of series, and I like the Tales of series anyway. Kind of a very expensive style of series to even jump into, though, because they're kind of, if you want to try to collect all of them. But, you know, so far, I mean, I did not pay too much for this, so that's why I got it, and I like it. I mean, it's a good handheld game to play, especially if it's an RPG. It gives you plenty of hours to crunch into. Obviously, 5-hour sessions have to be braked into if you're playing on the handheld, and it means you just have to put the 3DS down as it's charging, or you just plug it into the wall and keep on playing, whatever you go with. But, you know, usually 5-hour intervals. I usually take breaks anyway if I'm playing an RPG. I mean, I normally don't try to dedicate myself that long to a game, but it sort of happens sometimes, and you get really just engrossed into a title. But yeah, if you don't own the PS2 copy, this is a pretty decent port, at least so far, because I was comparing mentally what I remember from the PS2 game. It looks identical, but plays very smooth and has all the voice acting in there, and it has little cutscenes and bits and scenarios that are from exactly that, the PS2 game. So if you're missing the PS2 game and you want to play it again, there you go. See, I've repeated myself a couple times there. And the rain behind me is making me very sleepy, by the way. It's like I'm just listening to it very in my right ear, and I'm just like. But, alright, moving on. It's thundering too. I better power down my ship pretty soon. But yes, Next game I've got here, which I've shown this in a pickups video very recently with a couple of ColecoVision games, which, I've already gave my opinion about the ColecoVision games. I did not give one of this one right here, and that, of course, is Metal Gear Rising for the Xbox 360. Now, there's my problem with this game right off the bat. Now, it's something that I joke around about when it comes to the counter system and, deflecting sword attacks and all this stuff, and it requires a lot of patience, a lot of timing, to be on top of your toes to do this stuff. But I find that when you're entering sword mode, when you're trying to do obviously you're trying to deflect and, defend, I don't know, it just does not feel very good as a defensive kind of system for the game. And I think if they do make a sequel to this game, they should improve that, at least for other people out there. I mean, myself, I could probably get used to the defense thing after a while, after practicing it, but, it's something, it's not very noob-friendly, I'll put it that way. So, if you're expecting just a simple hack-and-slash style game, you get that in this game, but it's just something not quite handling itself quite well. It's kind of like I would just say it's sort of like handling a slippery fish while the Titanic's going down, is pretty much how I would describe the counter system. I mean, it's not a horrible system once you get used to it probably, but it's just sort of, yeah. And I can just picture somebody using a keyboard and mouse trying to do that crap too. It will be hilarious, because supposedly there's going to be a port for this game on the PC, excuse me. So I cannot wait the complaining I'm going to hear about that on forums or wherever else. It's going to be epic. So generally, this is how the system works. You press, I believe it was, it was right trigger, left trigger, and then you obviously aim the swords like this, and you go like that. But that is just like so freaking complicated. And that totally takes the concept of keep it simple, stupid as a motto for gaming and throws it out the window. That's why I think a lot of people were very disturbed from this game. I mean, past the very, over-the-top experience, I don't know. I mean, the storyline's okay, but the voice acting sucks. And it just, to me, feels like they could have took a little extra time to at least perfect a couple things here and there, at least get it down right. I mean, overall, if you're into the Metal Gear series, you're probably not going to give a fuck of what I'm saying. You're just going to be like, this guy's just a dick shit that can't use the counter system right, so he's an asshole and his opinion's wrong, and that's generally what's going to happen and people are going to say. But if a person can't jump into a game, even though the game explains it to them, and they do exactly as the game's instructing, and the controls are not going or responding very well, then you can't expect the person to cooperate with the game. And don't get me wrong, I want to play the game completely through it, but it's just sort of, it's one of those things that kind of need an improvement. If they're saying up and down that you need to counter things here and there, that's fine, so you don't die. But I found myself running around in ninja mode or ninja running mode and just running around enemies and just going boom, 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 and that's it, and beating them that way. And it's just sort of like, that's a brainless way to fight the game, and I was expecting more of an immersive sort of fighting system, because they described this whole Resident Evil stop, deflect, slice, slice, slice of all millions of degrees and pieces and articles of clothing ripping off and nipples coming out and smacking me across the cheeks. I was expecting all that, but I mean, for the price I paid for the game, I can say it's worth that much, but I would not recommend it to friends who expect a solid Metal Gear out of this game. It's just not. It's a spin-off that's sort of, it has the right formula, it's getting to that right formula, but doesn't quite want to take itself seriously enough to do so. I mean, if people love this game generally, please, I implore you, ignore what I'm saying, but for those folks who are interested in the game, be advised, if you hear about a counter system in your ear, it's there, but you're going to need some practice to get it down right, and that's all there is to it. I mean, it's one of those games that, it's easy to learn, very difficult to master kind of ratio. So if you're very casual as a gamer, you're going to be very pissed off with this game. So that's generally that, man. I mean, it's an okay game. It's just something I would not say it's super duper super amazing. It's an okay game, and it's a passable game for sure. So, yeah, I mean, that's two of my opinions for two games here. This one so far is pretty good. Can't say too much about it other than that, because I'm just getting into it 58 minutes in. And this one's alright. It's just they could have done a lot better to improve the combat system, at least the controls, because it's slippery like a fish, you know? So, yeah, take it easy. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.